Have you ever paused for a moment and wondered why this person came into your life as your wife? Was it just chance, just a series of events? Or could it be something deeper, something guided by a higher hand? Could it be that your wife is not just your life partner, but your karma and your grace? In the teachings of great spiritual masters like Paramhansa Yogananda, no relationship is random. Life is not a set of coincidences, it is a web of energies, choices, and divine orchestration. Your wife is not here just to make you happy, or to walk beside you in love. She is also here to awaken something in you. To bring your past karma into motion. To help you grow through the joys and the challenges. She is your reflection, your test, and your support. And at times, she is the hand of grace sent by the divine to carry you when you cannot walk alone. This video is not just about marriage. It's about seeing your partner with the eyes of the soul. It's about understanding why love can be difficult and yet deeply sacred. And it's about discovering how, through her, life is shaping your inner evolution. If you've ever felt that your marriage is more than just an emotional bond, that it carries lessons, mysteries, and hidden guidance, then stay with me. Today, we'll explore how your wife can be your karma and your grace, and how this simple truth can open the door to a deeper, more spiritual way of living and loving. Let us walk this sacred path together. In this life, and in all lives before this one, every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take, leaves an impression on your soul. This is the law of karma. It is not punishment. It is not reward. It is simply balance, divine justice moving in silence. According to Paramhansa Yogananda, no soul enters your life by accident. Each relationship is drawn to you like a magnet, based on the energy you have created, sometimes in this life, often from past ones. Your wife is not with you by coincidence. Her presence is not random. She is a soul whose path has crossed yours before. You may have loved her before. You may have hurt her before. Or she may have been sent to complete something that was left unfinished. In this lifetime, she has returned, or you have returned to her, so that the karmic seeds may bloom into growth, healing, and transformation. Some souls come into our lives briefly. But a spouse, a life partner, is tied to us deeply, energetically, spiritually. She reflects back to you your own qualities, sometimes your strengths, sometimes your weaknesses. And it is through this mirror that karma begins to reveal its purpose. Yogananda taught that relationships are divine classrooms for the soul. The people closest to us are often the ones with whom we share the deepest karmic ties. Your wife is not only part of your destiny, she is part of your soul's journey back to God. Understanding this, you can begin to see her not just as your partner in this life, but as a fellow traveler, helping you fulfill the invisible script of your past actions, written long before this birth. This awareness is the first step toward love that is both wise and liberating. In the sacred traditions of India, the feminine is not seen as lesser or secondary. She is revered as the embodiment of divine energy, Shakti, the creative force of the universe. Paramhansa Yogananda often reminded his disciples that the woman, especially in the form of a wife, is not just a companion, but a living expression of grace. When she enters a man's life through marriage, she carries with her both karmic connection and divine potential. If the husband sees her merely through the lens of attachment or desire, he misses a great opportunity. But if he sees her through the eyes of wisdom, as a channel of the Divine Mother, then her presence becomes sacred. She nourishes not only his body and emotions, but also his spirit. In her smile, he can find peace. In her strength, he can find courage. And even in her complaints or challenges, he can find hidden teachings that help him grow. Yogananda said, when you learn to see the soul in your partner, you will begin to love with the eyes of God. Your wife, then, is not just fulfilling worldly duties. She is, knowingly or unknowingly, helping you walk your path. She softens your rough edges. She humbles your pride. she often gives more than she receives. And when she loves selflessly, she becomes an instrument of divine grace in your life. This grace is not always sweet, it can be sharp, it can be silent, but it is always sacred. Begin to look at her as more than her name, more than her role. She is a spark of the divine, temporarily appearing as your wife, sent by God to uplift your soul. When you see her as such, your home becomes a temple, and your marriage becomes a path to spiritual freedom. Often in marriage, we expect only comfort, joy, and companionship. But Paramhansa Yogananda lovingly reminds us that true love, like true spiritual growth, is not always easy. The presence of your wife in your life is not only to bring you happiness, but also to awaken you through the hidden power of karma. Karma does not always come in the form of pain, nor is it always easy to recognize. Sometimes, it comes through emotional challenges, repeated patterns, misunderstandings, or the friction of two personalities learning to live as one. Your wife, knowingly or unknowingly, may activate certain emotions within you: anger, jealousy, pride, insecurity, not because she is wrong, but because your soul is ready to face and transcend them. This is how karma teaches. Yogananda said, "Every trial is a test to strengthen your soul." When your wife challenges you, she is not attacking you, she is reflecting something within you that is ready to change. Your patience grows when it is tested. Your ego softens when it is humbled. And your love deepens when it survives the storm. So instead of asking, "Why is she like this?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Your relationship is not just personal, it is spiritual. Through your wife, life is offering you lessons wrapped in daily conversations, emotional reactions, and even moments of silence. If you resist them, they repeat. But if you learn from them, they dissolve. This is the sacred dance of karma unfolding in the safe, intimate space of your home. When you begin to understand this, you no longer see conflicts as problems, but as doorways. Your wife becomes not just your partner, but your teacher in disguise. And in the fire of your shared life, both souls are slowly purified, elevated, and brought closer to the divine. Marriage is not merely a social agreement. It is not just about sharing a home, raising a family, or fulfilling duties. In the deeper sense, marriage is a spiritual sadhana, a sacred discipline that God has placed in your life for the evolution of your soul. Paramhansa Yogananda often said that true spiritual progress doesn't only happen in caves or ashrams, it happens in the quiet moments of everyday life, especially within the intimate space of marriage. When two souls come together, their energies begin to merge. Their habits, emotions, and thoughts affect each other deeply. And this closeness, while beautiful, also brings with it immense opportunity for growth. Through marriage, you are constantly invited to practice selflessness, forgiveness, patience, and compassion. These are not small things. These are the very pillars of spiritual life. When your wife annoys you, when misunderstandings arise, when your expectations are not met, these moments become your real meditation. Can you stay calm? Can you respond with love? Can you let go of the need to always be right? If so, you are doing sadhana, not in silence, but in the heart of daily life. Yogananda said, "Spirituality is tested in action." And marriage gives you this test daily. It is not about being perfect. It is about becoming aware that your reactions are your own teachers. Your wife is not here to follow your path or match your pace, she is walking her own journey beside you. And the more you walk with understanding and humility, the more your union becomes a sacred offering. When you see your home as your ashram, and your partner as your co-traveler, then marriage itself becomes a holy path toward inner transformation and divine realization. There are moments in life when the presence of your wife feels like a soothing balm to your soul. When the world feels heavy, and yet a single word, a gentle touch, or even her silent company brings peace to your heart. These are not small gestures. These are glimpses of grace. Yogananda taught that divine grace often comes through the people around us, especially through those closest to our hearts. Your wife, when she supports you in your weakness, reminds you of your light in moments of doubt, or simply walks beside you in silence through a storm, becomes a channel of that divine grace. She may not even be aware of it, but through her love, the divine is reaching out to you. Grace does not always arrive in dramatic forms. Sometimes, it hides in the quiet way she believes in you when you have stopped believing in yourself. Sometimes, grace is in the meals she prepares without complaint, the concern in her eyes, or the way she prays for you when you don't even know it. These moments are sacred. And they are easy to miss, unless you begin to look through the eyes of the soul. Yogananda said, recognize the God in those who serve you in small, constant ways. Your wife may have been sent not only to balance your karma, but to uplift your journey. And if she walks the path with devotion, kindness, and a forgiving heart, then she is indeed a blessing born of your own spiritual merit. In her presence, you are given both a mirror and a gift. And when you open your heart with humility and gratitude, you will realize she is not just your wife. She is grace, walking quietly beside you in human form. Now that you've begun to see your wife through the eyes of karma and grace, the question arises, how should you truly see her from now on? The answer is simple, yet transformative. Look beyond the surface. Look beyond the physical form, beyond the habits, beyond the personality. Look into her soul. Yogananda said that every relationship is an opportunity for liberation, if we are willing to see it. Your wife is your karma, yes. She carries the echoes of your past, the joys and the unfinished lessons that have drawn your souls back together. But she is also your grace, because through her, you are offered the chance to rise above old patterns and become your highest self. When you shift your vision from, what do I get from this marriage, to, what is life trying to teach me through this marriage, a deep transformation begins. You stop blaming. You stop controlling. And instead, you begin to love consciously, with awareness, with reverence. Through the dance of daily life, your wife becomes a mirror in which your soul sees itself more clearly. Sometimes she shows you your light. Sometimes your shadows. But always, she offers you the choice to grow. If you meet that offering with humility, your home becomes a temple. Your arguments become purification. Your love becomes prayer. And your journey together becomes a path, not just to personal happiness, but to divine realization. As Yogananda said, in each soul, see the divine. In each trial, see God's hand. When you begin to see your wife in this way, not just as a partner, but as a sacred presence in your life, you will discover that love, when lived with wisdom, becomes liberation. And that marriage, when lived with awareness, becomes a doorway to God. Dear soul, if you've listened this far, it means something in this message resonated with your heart. Perhaps you have begun to see your wife, or your partner, or even your past relationships, in a different light. What once felt like conflict or confusion may now begin to feel like divine orchestration, guiding your inner growth. Remember, life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Your wife is not just your companion in this world. She is your karma, revealing the echoes of your past, and she is your grace, offering you the chance to evolve, to forgive, to soften, and to love with greater depth. If you can hold her hand not only in love, but in awareness, your journey together will become sacred. And every moment, pleasant or difficult, will become a stepping stone toward your soul's awakening. As Paramhansa Yogananda beautifully taught, true love is not of the body, but of the soul. It is in understanding, in selfless giving, and in growing together toward the light of God. If this video has brought even a small spark of clarity, peace, or reverence into your heart, I humbly invite you to give it a like and share it with someone who may need to hear this truth today. Your one gesture could be the grace someone else has been praying for. I'd also love to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, have you ever felt that your wife or partner was more than just a person in your life? Has she ever acted as a mirror or a guide in your journey? I read each comment with care, and your reflections may help another seeker on the path. Also, let me know what you would like the next video to be about. Would you like to explore more on spiritual relationships, karma, divine love, or the deeper meaning of family and soul bonds? Your suggestions shape this sacred space we are creating together. Until then, stay kind, stay present, and walk the path with an open heart. Jai Gurudev.